Hello everybody, David Shuster here. We just got more proof that Kristi Noem is incompetent and that Donald Trump is an ass.
Breaking news into CNN. Kristi Noem is out as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security.
Trump made the announcement on Truth Social clearly without telling Noem first. Noem was speaking at a conference and droned on for 45 minutes, unaware she had been fired.
I'm coming to meet with a lot of the New York State sheriffs here real soon.
Not anymore. Trump's dismissal of Noem came a day after the cabinet secretary refused to deny a sexual affair with her chief of staff, Corey Lewandowski.
As Director of Department of Homeland Security, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today.
Reclaiming
and
my
ma'am,
time.
one thing that I would tell you is that he is a special government employee who works for the White House.
That was not a denial. The question was, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski? And Noem, with her husband in the hearing room behind her, refused to say no.
And as an advisor,
it is
has
okay for
no,
you to be
no
offended
authority
by
to
the
be
question.
making any
It is
decisions.
okay for you to
has
be
no
offended
authority
by the
to
question.
be making
But it is
decisions
also
and
a
putting
real
up your
question.
position. So what I would say
And
to
you should be able to
is
answer
that
the
what we do at the
question
Department of Homeland
clearly
Security every single
and without
day,
any hesitation.
every single day is to protect
If
this
someone
country
is
and to
asking
make
if
decisions.
you or any federal official is sleeping with their subordinate, that should be the easiest. You should be wanting to answer that question.
Is garbage.
Because it is not about
It is
your sex
offensive
life.
that you have brought
It is
that up.
about your
So
judgment.
that kind of garbage
It is
has
about
been refuted
reclaiming
for
my
years.
time.
The Congresswoman, Sidney Kamlager-Dove from California, pointed out that Corey Lewandowski is a lobbyist and a failed campaign manager with no experience in law enforcement, the military, or national security. Even President Trump reportedly did not support or trust Lewandowski.
Trump knows that this guy is shady. Corey has a decades-long record of physical battery, sexual harassment, illegal lobbying for a Venezuelan oil company, and bringing a loaded gun into a federal building. Despite being fired or removed from virtually every position he has ever held due to misconduct, he now wields unchecked, unconfirmed, undisclosed power over your department.
With Noem choosing not to deny the affair, Democratic Congressman Jared Moskowitz of Florida brought it up again when it was his turn to lead the questioning.
You've called Corey Lewandowski a special government employee. I understand what government means. I understand what employee means, okay? But I don't know what makes him special. Now, I want to give you an opportunity to answer on the record to Ms. Kamlager-Dove's question. I know you said it's garbage, and it may be, but I really think you need to say the word no into the record so that you can clear that up.
I think the ridiculousness of this and the tabloids that you are quoting and referencing are insane. And this has been
So that's a no?
something that I've refuted
Is
for
that a no?
years, and I continue to do that.
So it's a
what
no.
I would tell you is
We
when
can move on.
regards
Hold
to
on,
what you're
Madam Secretary,
doing,
we can move on. I'm not going to belabor it. If it's
this is what you do.
Hold on,
Socialist,
I'm not doing anything.
Liberal left
Okay.
is you go off and you attack conservative women, and you say that we're either stupid
I haven't
or
said
we're
anything.
sluts.
All right, so listen.
And that's what you do.
Yesterday,
and I will tell
Richard,
you, sir,
reclaiming
I will
my
tell
time,
you,
Mr.
sir,
Chairman.
I
Mr.
am
Chairman,
neither of
reclaiming my
those.
time.
I
You
am
were asked
neither
by
of
Richard
those.
Blumenthal
This is from
yesterday.
the
You were asked
playbook
by
out of the
Richard
Democratic
Blumenthal
Party.
yesterday if Corey was involved in approving contracts. You said no. Do you want to correct that?
What I would say is that he has an advisor to the Department of Homeland Security, has no
Madam Secretary,
decision-making
do you want to correct
authority.
it? Yes or no? You don't want to correct
no
it? Fine.
decision-making authority,
hold
no
on.
role in
Not a
contracting.
problem. According to one of the FEMA administrators that you fired, there is nothing, including contracts, that is brought to you that he hasn't reviewed. In fact, a significant amount of DHS internal routing documents has his signature on it above deputy secretaries. Okay, that former FEMA administrator wasn't fired by you, the secretary. He was fired by Corey. It was Corey that called him into your office. It was Corey that made him to submit to a polygraph test. The $100,000 spending rule that you created that comes to your desk, you're not even sitting at your desk. It's Corey who's sitting there. ISIS said the Republicans should be happy at the job that you're doing. Really? You're looking at the person who single-handedly took the president's signature core issue, immigration, the issue that got him elected from 59% to 39%. 200 miles of border walls being held up by you. They had to bring in Tom Homeland, pull out of Minnesota. I think the country needs a national divorce from you on biblical grounds. I mean, if Donald Trump was still apprentice Trump, he would look at you and he would realize you're the weakest cabinet member and he would fire you.
Trump reportedly got the same message from congressional Republicans. And Trump himself was reportedly steamed about Noem invoking him when she was criticized over a $200 million advertising campaign featuring Noem. Headline: GOP senator who had viral spat with Kristi Noem reveals Trump refuted her under oath claim about him. Quote, Senator John Kennedy, Republican Louisiana, told CBS News on Thursday that President Trump called him after his grilling of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem the day before and suggested that Noem's under oath testimony had not been accurate.
You're testifying that President Trump approved this ahead of time. Is that my understanding?
We had conversations about making sure that we were telling people.
No, ma'am. I'm asking you, sorry to interrupt, but the president approved ahead of time you spending $220 million running TV ads across the country in which you are featured prominently.
Yes, sir. We went through the legal processes, did it correctly.
Did the president know
worked
you
with
were going to do
OMB.
this?
Yes.
He did?
Yes.
In other words, Noem lied under oath. And while lying has obviously never been an issue for Donald Trump, Noem blaming Trump for her own self-promotion and spending that many Republicans opposed apparently was the last straw for Trump. There are reports, however, that Trump was also embarrassed by how Noem handled the Lewandowski affair issue, including Senate questions about Noem and Lewandowski having DHS purchase a luxury jet with a private bedroom.
Can you explain this?
Sir, I'm looking at a picture of an interior, looks like a bedroom.
Of an airplane?
Yes, sir.
You're not familiar with that?
These photos are not accurate. If you're referring to the airplanes that the Department of Homeland Security has purchased and are purchasing, we're using them for long-range command and control aircraft that is dictated in statute by Congress for the Department of Homeland Security to have a plane.
Luxury jet with a bedroom in it?
Yeah, we used a 737. I've been on it once, but it is being used by other administration officials, and it is used for command and control flights for the department.
It's too bad Senator Whitehouse didn't just ask if Noem and Lewandowski used that luxury jet bedroom to join the Mile High Club. But I suppose that would have distracted from the larger issue. Noem's judgment is awful. And when she gets caught saying or doing something embarrassing or stupid, her inclination is to blame others or avoid answering questions. Well, Donald Trump has clearly now had enough. He says Noem will be moved to the position of special envoy for the Shield of Americas, a new security initiative for the Western Hemisphere that has not yet been announced. In other words, Noem is not just leaving the Trump cabinet, she's being exiled. Noem's replacement at DHS, Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma, is most well known for wanting a physical fight with a Senate hearing witness.
If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
No, stop it.
Is that your solution every
Hold it. No, sit down. Sit down. Okay. You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
The position of DHS Secretary requires Senate confirmation. And for all of the controversy surrounding Mullin, Republicans and Democrats expect him to have the votes for two reasons. First, Mullin is not Kristi Noem. And second, Mullin's chief of staff will not be Corey Lewandowski. By the way, Republican Senator Ted Cruz recently undermined a key Trump argument for war with Iran.
I have no indication that they were anywhere close to getting nuclear weapons.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular was from Mickey, who wrote, "This was all to try and divert attention from the Epstein files." I hear you. I look forward to reading your comments about Donald Trump firing Kristi Noem as DHS Secretary and initially doing it without telling her, perhaps as payback for Noem embarrassing Trump. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.